So a bunch of you wanted to hear the John Hammond story, so I guess I'll tell it. Now, I feel a little weird talking about my childhood, but I grew up in a little town in Connecticut, and while my family was not rich by any means, I grew up around a lot of rich people. Now, John Hammond, in fact, is a Vanderbilt, that kind of old money rich, and so we were members of this little country club. It was very nice, and so it was a good place for when I was a kid. They could drop me off, and I could take golf lessons, and I could swim in the pool, and have lunch at the snack bar, and then pick me up after work, and it was pretty great, and it wasn't until much later in life that I realized what a weird childhood I had, but anyway, it is what it is. And so anyway, I took golf lessons, and I got to be pretty good. In fact, I would have been junior club championship. I got runner-up in 1977. And I would have won this freaking tournament, except, and I'm not going to say their names because they're a prominent family, but the guy who won, his older brother, followed us around and heckled me the whole time, like really cruelly, and there was no adult supervision. We were just allowed to sort of play our game, and I would have beat this little punk ass kid, but his older brother, had to, that was my first inkling that golf was not a gentleman's game, at least not amongst this new class of people that were coming up. All right, anyway, so the point is, when I got old enough, I started caddying, and John Hammond was a member of the club, and so this would be around 1977 or so. And in case you guys don't know who John Hammond is, I pulled up a little picture on my iPad here. He was a very famous, legendary record producer. There he is. This is around the time I carried his golf clubs in the late 70s. He died in 1986. So yeah, he discovered Bessie Smith and Bob Dylan and Bruce Springsteen and Stevie Ray Vaughan and just on and on and on and on and on. Lots of legendary jazz people. Benny Goodman, and he put on these spirituals to swing concerts in Carnegie Hall in the 20s and 30s, and was really active in like civil rights stuff in the 50s and 40s, 50s and 60s, 30s, 40s, 50s and 60s. I mean, he was a really amazing guy, and so by the time, I met him, he was kind of an older dude, but so like I said, he was a Vanderbilt, right? And unlike the nouveau riche people who were coming on the scene in the late 70s or, the 80s was the rise of the yuppie and stuff, he was old money. So like he would drive up to this club in a freaking beat up rusty Toyota Corolla, from the 70s. That's back when Japanese cars were like not good, and he would drive his Corolla, and they were not decent clothes, but they weren't like fancy name brand clothes. And as you can see, he didn't like spend a lot of money on his hair, but he was a freaking Vanderbilt. And anyway, so yeah, I got to caddy for him a few times. And that year that I was caddying, that summer, is like when I bought my first stereo. I made enough money that summer to buy. At the time, it was, pretty cool. Anyway, he was a very, very nice man. But I made a mistake one of the first times I caddied for him of asking him some banal question about like Bruce Springsteen or something stupid. I don't remember what I asked him, and I don't remember what he answered. And he was very nice, and I guess he answered my stupid question in a very perfunctory manner. And I don't remember what he said, but he made it very clear, but in a very gentle way, that we were not going to have conversations like that on the golf course, and that I was going to carry his clubs, and we were going to have a nice time, but we were not going to talk about that stuff. And in fact, he had this regular foursome, and none of those guys that I could tell were music people, and they didn't talk about music, and they were just like into golf. He was a pretty good golfer too. Like, golf is a hard freaking game. If you've ever tried to hit a golf ball with one of these things, and make it actually go where you want, oh, it's really hard. You know, Michael Jordan, the basketball player, said that the golf swing is the most difficult athletic maneuver he's ever attempted, and I believe him. You know, to be able to do it, you know, consistently over and over and over again. That's the hard thing. You know. Anyway. So yeah, he was very nice. We had that one conversation about Dylan or Springsteen or something, and it was very short, but it was, you know, and we continued on, and I carried his clubs a number of times, and he was a very excellent tipper. And that was another thing that I learned, is like these old money people, they like were very generous. Like, you did a good job, and I did a good job because, you know, I knew the course, and like I was really good at finding, you know, errant balls and, you know, scouting, you know, that sort of thing. You know, I carried his clubs enough where I could like give him advice on what club to hit and shit like that. And so he was a very generous tipper. Now some of these new Arish guys with their freaking gigantic ass leather bag that weighs 600 pounds, you schlep it around that golf, you know, 4 miles in 100-degree heat, and they give you like a couple bucks as a tip. Now that was not unusual. But anyway, he was a wonderful man. He really was. And I kind of look back and I go, wow, I can't believe I, you know, got to hang out with John Hammond. You know, I know we didn't get to shoot the shit about Aretha Franklin or whatever, but, you know, it was quite something. Now, the point of this story, okay, there's a point. Because, I mean, all that would be cool enough, right? But here's the thing about caddying for John Hammond. He was a pretty good golfer, but like any human being trying to play this stupid game, he would hit a bad shot once in a while. And not always, but sometimes he would lose his shit, and he would take the club, start whacking himself over the head. John, I can't believe you. Oh, how could you do that? Whack, whack, whack. Like wailing on himself. I mean, really wailing on himself with a freaking 5-iron. And the first time this happened, I'm like, and the rest of his foursome and the other caddy were like, oh, yeah, that's John. And, you know, he would stop and then hand me the club, you know, and I'd wipe the blood off and put it back in the bag, and off we'd go, and as if nothing happened. And this would happen, oh, God, at least once, maybe 2-3 times around. Now, when I left home, I quit playing golf. It's very expensive, and, you know, I took it up again when we moved down here because it was a lot less expensive, and I had stopped playing music, and it was something to do, and anyway, where am I going with this? I took it up again so I could play with my dad again. Like, golf was something I got to share with my dad up until the time he died, which was nice. Anyway, the point of that is a relative of mine played golf with him some time ago, and he made an observation that golf is a good test of character. And it really is, because it's so damn hard. And it's just you and that stupid little ball. And you can't blame, you know, you can try to blame the weather or whatever, but like, it's you. It's all you, and the failure is yours, you know? And it's like how you deal with that failure is really, it's a good test of character, you know? And the real pros, you know, it's really kind of amazing about them, although, fuck them, they're all a bunch of Republican pigs. But, I mean, to really be a pro is to be able to, like, let that wash off. And, you know, they make bad shots, you know? What they're able to do is, like, recover, which is, like, anyway. So a lot of golf is mental. So what does it say about John Hammond that when he hit a bad shot, he would, like, wail on himself, you know? I think that just, I don't know. I don't know what it says. I'm not a psychiatrist, but it was really something to behold, and I thought I'd share that story. And, yeah, the legend, John Hammond, on the golf course. I was there. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking that out, whatever. Yeah, take care. I'll see you soon.